Hey there, I'm Ismail Nava from ISM System Designs, also known as ISM SD, and I'm excited to welcome you to our channel. We've been in the e-learning industry for over 11 years now, and we've learned from the best in the business. We're constantly applying the latest principles and methods to our work. This video was recorded back in late September 2023, located at Geekdom in downtown San Antonio. We had the goal to push this video out before the 2023 DevLearn conference in Las Vegas, but time got away from us. So, before we roll into 2024, we definitely wanted to push this video out as there is information relevant to 2023 reports. Before the video starts, you'll be presented with our safe harbor statement. You can pause and read if you like, but the statement basically states that there may be forward-looking discussions and future development efforts in the talk, and that nothing in the presentation represents a promise or guarantee of delivery. Please do not make any major business decisions upon these statements until you've talked with us or other professionals in the industry. I've seen some people and businesses start with one and some with not. We are including one as some technology we used this past year currently has changed and is currently changing. We will iterate this presentation as the industry constantly changes, and we hope you do too. We hope you enjoy and learn from this video. Please like, comment, or subscribe at any moment during this video if you find the information relevant, or if you have questions that we can answer. Thank you. We're going to be talking about applying the levels of e-learning to your business today, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, there was that QR code in the beginning that was a poll, and we'll be able to just kind of take those questions and provide feedback for us in the future. So bottom line up front, the bluff here, what we're going to be talking about today is inform business owners or interested parties about e-learning and really what's in it for them, what's in it for you, what's in it for you, online, and the importance of that, right, with today and the state of everything happening regarding learning and interactivity. We're going to talk a little bit about designing the learner experience, really thinking about not as business owners or data owners or product managers, but really thinking about the learners and what they need, right, regarding content. We're going to talk about the various interaction levels and the examples that go through those levels. So we're going to be talking about 4. If you go online, you may see or read that there's 3 levels, right? You may see that there's 4. I go with the 4. We go with the 4 in this company, and we were able to differentiate between them. So you'll be talking about those today. The other thing would be data analysis for business decisions, and that's really important to some people, right? How you can make business decisions. And regarding learning and development, this is a really important area. A lot of people may think that it is an area that would be above their heads, and that data analysis type persons which should be the ones taking control or thinking about these things. But really, in the industry, anybody would be able to do this, right? As long as you just take a few hours out of your day, every now and then, you can really start to apply data analysis to your e-learning modules or interactions. So background, last 22 years, over the last 22 years, one Air Force veteran. Talked to you a little bit about that before, and I know you're talking about your grandfather, or was it your dad? Your dad, was a vet too. But so yeah, being able to do those things, and I think I clicked back, so I got to make sure my finger doesn't scroll when it doesn't need to. While I was in the Air Force, I was also a network marketing consultant. So towards the last 2 or 3 years of me being in the military, and then the 2 or 3 years afterwards, I actually was in a leadership business, and we concentrated on network marketing and being able to provide services that way. I received my bachelor's in communication and media and my master's in communication studies, which I was able to concentrate on systems theory. So I don't know if you know about systems theory, really our cybersecurity IT field. The persons who created this back, I think in like the 30s, 40s, what have you, there was 2 routes to go, right? It was the IT route and then the actual interpersonal route. And so in communication and media and the liberal arts, they went that route. And then of course we have the cybersecurity IT field. So really, when you're talking about communication, it stemmed from really one tree, and it went out that to those different branches. So really cool if you didn't know about that. I've been an adjunct instructor, and down in Corpus Christi at Texas A&M University Corpus, and then here as San Antonio College. I went into the corporate field as an instructional system designer, first as a trainer, and then as an system designer. And then I was an accidental e-learning developer, right? And then accidentally getting into that field, I really gone full force with it and just taking it under other people's wings. I've gone under, and some mentors that I have, and getting some top of the line certifications in that field. So I've been doing that for about 5 years. And as an agile project manager, I've gotten my certification from what's called the Learning Guild, and it is a global guild. People from all over, join. You can go join learningguild.com, I believe, is what you can go online and check that out. But Megan Torrance from Torrance Learning, and now the Learning Guild, they provide this certification out there. So we'll talk a little bit more about that towards the end, being an agile project manager in e-learning, right? And the importance of that. The other thing, I've been being a business owner for two years now, and then being a father for 2 years too. So you might think being a little crazy, starting a business and becoming a newfound father, right, at the same time, been really hectic. And then doing other projects and work on top of that. So, but we're making it happen, right? So there's the background. So what's in it for me? But not me, but you, right? And you here in the room, and then you there online. What's in it for you? And so regarding that is cost effectiveness, right? We know that teaching online or being able to present things in the digital world can really help people with the cost effectiveness of being able to provide that content or material online, correct? So it's non-traditional means, right? Traditional means is that you get tons of people in a room. You have to pay for, the seats, you pay for the space, right? Everything that goes along with accompanying people in a traditional sense of teaching or instructing, doing those things. That's the traditional means, and so now we're in the non-traditional means of that. Second thing would be flexibility and convenience. And again, my finger is a little bit sticky there. Being self-paced. And this is more towards your learners or to your employees or your customers, right? Being able to then being self-paced on the material that they're learning or interacting with. The flexibility and convenience. Being scalable. And this is more, can be leaning towards like your cloud hosting, right? If I need to instruct 3 to 5 people in a virtual environment, I may not have to pay for cloud hosting that much that month. But if I'm going to go instruct 15 to maybe 100 people or thousands of people, or show people get connected to my material on the internet in that route or way, I need to scale that up so I'm able to do it, depending on the kind of environment or persons that need to take my content, right? Access my content, website or what have you. So you can grow without higher significant costs of if I need 5 people in the room versus whether I need 1,000, right? That's really where what we're talking about today. Improve performance, right? Again, towards your learners, being able to improve their performance. You can be targeted and personalize the information based on what you want them to know about, right? And then go from there. The other point to this is the access of the range of resources, right? Being able to include just a ton of resources if you need to. And as you'll see here in some of my interactions that we have and other modules that we've created, is being able to just tie in a bunch of maybe different websites, material, PDFs, what have you, modules, and have everything just interconnected and being able to support the content or material that you want, right? And be able to use those best practices. Enhance competitiveness too. So if you want to be competitive right now, this is definitely something that we would need. And you'll see that here in my next slide of the material that and content that I'll show you. Being able to rapidly evolve and upskill your learners, your community, whether it's on a YouTube channel, at a moment's notice, if you get some new information and be able to throw that out there, say, hey, I just learned about this new device yesterday, and now I'm going to instruct you about how to use it and the best practices that I've learned, being able to use that for myself, right? So those are the things that we can do. So what's in it for me, but not me, but you, right? So cool. So the importance of digitization, right? Digital, being the importance of being digital. The 2023 State of Design and Make. I don't know if you all have heard of Autodesk or AutoCAD, Automax, right? So Autodesk is this really immersive type of, the material that they have, the platforms that they run. You can check this out here, Autodesk up there. They have a bunch of different programs and software applications that you can use. This is a report that they came out with earlier in the year, and you can use this QR code right here to access that. And it's not connected to my website, but it's their website, and they're going to ask you to, for your name, your email, and that's going to be up to you if you want to do those things, right? And so you can go download that report, same report that I've downloaded and that I use for my reporting. So yeah, go ahead and take a picture of it, and if it's not showing up for you, and good. All right, cool. So yeah, so you can save that link. You can go ahead and connect to it right now if you want to, as I keep going, right? And really with my QR codes today, you can do those things and fill out that information as you see it, and I'll just keep talking, and you can get back into it whenever you are able to. So from here, the first 2 pages really grab your attention, right? They asked over 200 countries, and it's people from around the world, and or over 200 countries participated in it, and about 70% of the participants said that they are uncertain regarding the business, I guess you could say, economy today, right? They're uncertain about the future of business right now in a global sense. 60%, forgive me, 60% said that. And then 70% of them, I believe, said that they are prepared though for whatever is to come, right? And then the other 30% is like, oh, we're totally not prepared. We need to get in with the game, right? So, a little bit less of a percentage saying that, yeah, I don't know about what's going on out there, but a majority of them, over 75%, says, hey, no matter what comes our way though, we'll deal with it. We'll be able to meet those challenges. And the question of, have you adopted to remote capabilities? So being able to, at part of your business, be remote, right? Being able to provide remote services. One, I can be here in a room with you all and provide this presentation. And then 2, being able to go online and provide this to you that may be seeing this in the future, whether it's a few days from now, weeks, months, years, who knows? But being able to do that, provide remote capabilities to your customers, your employees, or your clients, right? The other top business objectives is business growth. That's really what it is, right? People just want to be able to grow their business out there, and that's really what they come out with. 60% of respondents said that business growth is a top objective for their company. 55% cited the operational efficiency as another top business objective, right? And really, the goals that you tie to your business, that's really what's going to be running how we operate day to day. And so as we move on, does digitation drive your future? Forgive me for this access to, I needed to delete that. But does digitation drive, there I got the word correct, drive your future, right? And within this report, it should be, right? Digitization drives the future. 79% of respondents said that the future growth of the company will depend on digital tools. Those that are keeping up with the pace of change in their industry are more likely to have plans to increase existing services, offer new services, and potentially expand into new markets, right? So make sure that digitization is driving your future. So initial questions before we get into those 4 levels. Again, I really wanted to concentrate and have a really understanding of what we're getting into regarding e-learning or digital learning, virtual learning, learning experience design, right? And this is what's called action mapping. And action mapping is from Kathy Moore. I don't know if you know, heard of Kathy Moore, but you can go research her. Really great. She has this theory or practices that I've used when I meet with my clients. We usually start off with action mapping. And if you remember what I was talking about, that agile program management for e-learning, we really want to concentrate on what are those learner outcomes and concentrate not necessarily on objectives. Once you get an objective regarding your content and material, not necessarily as your business, but for your content, you're already kind of setting the tone for your learner, but really we need to concentrate on what those learners actually need. And so regarding the employee and or your customer, they're learning is what the point I'm getting to, really need to find what's the problem and how do we fix it, right? What's the problem that we have at one as a business or as a trying to instruct or train or teach our customers or employees? What's the problem that they may be having with our product or services, and how do we fix that in a learning sense? What needs to be done and why is that not happening, right? Why are those things not happening? We'll go and definitely need to hash that out and think about it before we move into what our activities are. And I'll keep moving on. And how can we help them practice? How can we help our employees, those that are being trained underneath us, or our customers that are going to be using our products? How can we help them practice that? And that's really with the info, finding out what information is needed, and then creating actual activities. So what you see here is a presentation or that a client of ours was using, and this is Global Stage Technicians. They're all over the world. What they do is train riggers for high performing high performers, right? Gymnasts that go and do Cirque du Soleil. Has anybody seen Cirque du Soleil before? Right. So if you go to see a Cirque du Soleil show, some of their people that are up in the rafters, way above, they're the ones helping the performers drop down 100, 200 feet. And so that's really what they're doing. So they had this training, and they would go to China or Korea, Japan, the Philippines, Indonesia, Florida. They have Florida, Disney. They're out in Las Vegas right now. They have a shop in Las Vegas. They're setting one up here in South Texas, doing some things here in South Texas. And so the reason I show them, because we took them from like a level 0 or a really low level 1 to a level 3. And we're still trying to get them to go to a level 4, which you'll see here in a little bit, or a little bit later in this presentation. But we actually have gone through these levels that I'm going to show you today. So a lot of my examples will be showing the content that we've helped them to develop. And if you saw that presentation there, that's what they had before we came in. Really basic PowerPoint. I mean, that was from like 2015, I think, 2016, and they didn't update it maybe up until we came in like 2 years ago. Actually, before that, being able to then start the business from there. So, and gaining some clients after that. So that's really what helped kick this off. And we're like, look, we're professionals in the field. We see that you need some help there, and that's really how we got kicked off. So we'll be showing them throughout this presentation, plus some other interactions. So where are we at? Learner perspective. So level 1. Before I get into level 1, do you have any questions so far? Good. All right. And level 1, let me see if I have anything online. Okay, nothing online so far, but great. We're going to be doing this from the learner's perspective. If you remember from that slide I had earlier, from the learner's perspective, what do we want to think about regarding them? And at level 1, they're just consuming info. We're jamming in a lot of information for them to read or learn about. And it is just, hey, read it and get through it. Minimal interactivity, level 1. It can be, like I said, maybe a lot or tons of reading for them. The third thing will be they constantly are clicking next. Do you have Kindles on your phones? Or do you read on your phones at all, right? I mean, that's e-learning. You're on an electronic device and you're learning. So really, that's a level 1 when you're talking about this. So being able to categorize your learning digitally is really what this presentation is about. It's being able to either going to a other e-learning development company and telling them, this is what I need. I want a level 3, I want a level 4, I want a level 1. That's what you're going to be able to do after this presentation. And say, hey, I want this module or this type of information to be level 1, and let's keep it at that. So here they're constantly clicking next. So again, like your Kindle, if you have a Kindle at home, that's what a level 1 is. And let me see if I have that popped up. Great. So your static images, minimal interactivity. So as you can see here on the screen, I have a PowerPoint. It looks a little cleaner from what you saw before, that green PowerPoint. This is that same company. So what we did is we cleaned it up for them to have a little bit, more nicer presentation, and we're able to throw some graphics that they had provided for us, and then two that we went and said, hey, these would actually go into this presentation. Do you approve them? And they said yes. Great. So we're going to clean up that slide for them and start to organize at a very low level regarding static images and multimedia. So quizzes and multiple choice regarding your feedback or exiting out of a module. This is what really we're just going to keep at this level, is multiple choice and true false. You're just going to be keeping this at that level. No drag and drops, no matching, no crazy other interactions, games, what have you. Those are going to happen later. At level 1, you're just going to really keep it at this basic level as you see here. And I'm sure we've all have done this at one point or another regarding training or whether we're interacting with other companies online. So still moving into level 1, it's a linear type of e-learning. You have a start and then you have an end. There's no, you can't really, like a maze or different pathways. It's just, there's going to be a beginning and an end, whether it's horizontal or vertical in a vertical fashion. It's linear. And so like manuals are a linear type of learning, PDFs, text process manuals, rule books, and have seen those online. And we're talking about being digital too here, taking a physical book and then throwing it online. So being in the military, we have what's called technical orders. Tony, I'm sure you've probably seen some TOs before, and these TOs are really thick books, and they tell you everything how to do a job. So in the military, I built missiles. This really big intercontinental ballistic missile, ICBMs, and we learned how to do it by these TOs. But now I believe those TOs are online. So being able to just read all of that and go find is a whole lot easier than a big manual and have to look at the tabs. Again, so that's what you're doing online. PDFs with some graphics, as you see here. This is that company that I was telling you about that we helped with. We have an interactive PDF for them, or this is really geared toward us as a business, right? It's showing what we did for them. So on our website, ismsd.com, you can go and see this PDF and learn about things that we did for them and have it being an interaction. Low-level PowerPoints again, minimal interactions there. So an example I will show you is, one was that disaster recovery plan that I already showed. And if you want links to these, I can provide them to you afterwards. But the other thing would be this plane. I'll show you this planes page. Let's see if this pops up. This should pop up here. And give me 1 second. Where am I at? Planes page. Come on, pop up. And I'll show you this on screen right now. So this is a Wikipedia page. A teacher came to us and asked us, hey, I want to instruct my students about the different planes that are out there. I heard you do some e-learning. I wanted you to create a module for me, just be for fun. Let's check it out. Maybe we can see what starts here, and maybe you can do some more material for us. And so we said, sure. Well, what do you want? Well, they sent us this Wikipedia page, and we just started from that. So this is e-learning. We got this learning about planes with different graphics, what have you, and just showing you, because I'm going to reference this at level 2. So that is, an example that we have, and I wanted to show that. And then let's get to the next. So if you want to play along, if we have time at the end, this will send you to if you do this QR code, hopefully you can get it. I'll get my hand out of the way, and you'll be able to, page should pop up, and it's going to ask you for your name or for your email. You do not have to put in your real email or your real name. You can do, I'm Jimmy John, or I'm Sylvester the cat in the name. It doesn't have to be a real name. If you want to, you can. The email can be test123@howdy.com. It doesn't have to be a real email either. But if you want to provide your real email, go ahead. Again, this QR code, and then for those of you that access this later on, you should have we'll provide a link for you to do that also. So you'll be able to do that from this PDF, and that's the PDF I had on screen earlier, and you'll be able to read that, right? And I'll show you how this is being recorded with data analytics. Cool. Even at level 1, regarding e-learning, we're going to be able to see with data what you're doing, right? Whether that's scary or not, it's, whatever. But people are, again, it's a choice. You can enter your name, or you don't have to, or you can skip it. Again, that's what I'm saying. It's for test purposes, playing along. So there's that. So level 2, anybody have any questions about level 1? No? We're good? Okay, great. So level 2, limited interactivity. We're moving along here. So from the learner's perspective, multimedia helps with learning. So we want to include more graphics, more animations, more transitions, maybe some voiceovers, but not too deep here. We don't want to go too much into the weeds there. But we do want to upgrade just a little bit into to level 2 regarding limited activity. And I think this should be playing for me. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, great. So I have that playing for you on screen, and you'll be able to see here that in level 2, right, we went in, created a video, or helped insert a video into their e-learning here for their training. And you'll be able to see that there's some audio. As you can see, there's closed captioning down here because I do not have the audio on, but it's audio, video, basic animations, transitions, more developed narrations. And then as you can see here, click and reveal, right? I'm clicking my tabs and I'm revealing whether it's content or information by clicking within this module or interaction, right? I'm able to do those things. I think once this video comes down a little bit more, I have my graphics. I'm letting my graphics lead the way. I'm letting my graphics or my animations, what have you, videos, provide a access to that content. I'm not having content first. I'm having that come initially, and then the learner being able to interact with it regarding level 2. Cool for level 2. Not just click reveal or click next, I mean, but you're able to interact with objects on the screen. As you see here, some more happening on screen there. And let me make sure I can keep going. And your quizzes, right? Your quizzes are, you can have multiple choice, you can have true, false, but it's also drag and drop and matching, right? Now you can do those hangman games, or you can do really low level Jeopardy type game. I don't know if you ever played something like that online. Battleship, we created Battleship games before for people, but you're able to have like a graphic and drag and drop certain objects on the screen so that it's more interactive. And really that's what level 2 is doing. So let's move on here. Level 2 is still a linear type of e-learning, and it's a richer learning experience. So what that means is that it's just cleaner type of presentations, more lower development time though. So level 1 and level 2, we're able to take that content and just kind of throw it in, right, and produce something from it. And that's what we're able to do with level 2 type stuff. And those examples I'll show you here. Let me get over to that planes demo. I can show you. Let's see if this pops up. Where did it go? And there we go. All right. So now if you remember that planes demo, we went and created an e-learning module for them. And we said, hey, all right, here's some planes. Let's throw some interactions on there. I can insert my name and email if I wanted to. This is more for data analytics that we had for them. So we had that, I can provide that for you also. But not just having a static image on screen like level 1. You can see here that just look about the AN225 Mira, right, and get some information there. What else? I'm going to continue. I'm going to go learn about the Airbus A380. Let's do the Boeing 747, and then the Hughes H4 Spruce Goose. You may not know about those, but you do now. And so being able to do those things, we've turned that really static information on a Wikipedia page into an interactive module for those students, being able to do that way. And so, hey, you've completed this interaction. Let's click the next arrow to finish. And so we finish, and then boom, here's some information for us. Okay, great, cool. So there is this click to reveal, and I'll show this here, and hopefully I can have that be pulled up also. Click to reveal, and let's move this over here. So I don't know if you know about the type of e-learning software programs that are out there. There are a few, but the one that we like to use is what's called an articulate storyline. You have Adobe Captivate. They came out with a new program just this year. There's Lectora and some other ones that are out there that you can go and research and find. And they all have their advantages, some disadvantages, right? Industry leading though would be Articulate. They have this challenge series called on e-learning heroes, and every week there's a challenge that you can do if you want to learn about e-learning or how to develop. They have these weekly challenges, and up here, if you go to 24 ways to transform static content into interactive e-learning, you can find and see how people took this static content, just like I did with that plain Wikipedia page, and how they went and created some interactions. So with this hamburger module, is they had this static image of the hamburger of the feedback sandwich. I don't know if you heard about the feedback sandwich, but they have what's called the feedback sandwich. So if we take the feedback sandwich and we click each item to learn more, we're going to learn about each part of our sandwich. And Samuel Apata went and created this. I want to give a shout out, cite the reference there. And so I'm going to go ahead and let myself try. So this is really what a level 2, really great level 2 is, right? I'm taking that static information and I'm just kind of putting it here and making sure that where should the cheese go? Should the cheese go here, right? I don't remember. I may get some wrong, but let's see if I am correct, if it lets me do it. I may have to go here, and it didn't pop up. Let me see, it might be down here. Well, should be popping up, and it gives you a percentage of how to do that, right? But we get the point, right? We're able to take that static information, unless I missed something here, but again, it could be the interaction too. But we get the point. So, and the GST course, like you had seen in the video before that, that was that example for level 2. So any questions on level 2 before I move on? No, cool. All right, heading to our 30-minute mark, but so far so good. We're right where we want to be. Level 3, complex interactivity. On the flyer, initially I had complex interactivity, then I turned it into engaged interactivity. Out there, you may find if you research level 3, you'll find it being complex. I really like to call it engaged interactivity, because you're really now going into that deeper level of your learner having to progress with the module and engagement. But complex does meet the aspect too. So I skipped forward a little bit. Let's move here. And all right, cool. Got the video to work. So you see here, the video is working. This is a more sophisticated experience, right? I'm taking a cell phone. Has anybody been phished before? You know what phishing is, right? Somebody trying to hack into your email system or get in, your personal account. And so as you see here, hey, you got this failed payment. Click here to give me your information and help you support you, right? And it's like, no, there's the red flags. That's not even a correct business name. So I had this person call me on my business line there about a week ago. Said, hey, we found you online and we think we can help you out with this service or that service. We're going to send you an email link, and go ahead and click that email link, and you're going to be able to set up a meeting with you. And I was like, all right, cool. I like what you said. So they send me this email link, and it's like Henry, but H3NRY, and it had like about, I don't know, 12 to 15 numbers at the end of it. And I was like, you're a legit business, right? And I was like, nah, I'm going to click that link. So they called me about a week later. Literally, this was about 2 days ago. They said, hey, we see that you didn't click our link. And I'm like, yeah, man, like you got to give me a legit business name, like email. I'm not going to click that. He's like, oh, well, it's our business, and please click our link. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to like up your business game there. I don't think you're a legit type person. I'm not going to click your link. I help instruct on people getting fished, right? This is like a clear telltale sign. You're calling me, sounds like maybe from another country, one, right? And then two, your email chain is not working out. So these are some cool experiences that we've done, right? You see this sophisticated interaction that we have. Extensive multimedia and animations can happen here. In level 3, I need to pull this down a little bit. Scenarios are introduced. And as you'll see here, really quick scenario that was built out, and it's automatically being populated here. And you'll see that once this gets down to the scenario, there was a question. We have some characters that are being presented. And you see here, this is what we showed you about level 2. You have those flip cards. But in level 3, we're adding this scenario. We're going to go create a story for our employees or our customers, our clients, for them to have a more of a real world type of interaction that they can have. So boom, we get done with that scenario and we can move on with our course. Scenarios are introduced there. Again, branching pathways. So not it being just linear in a horizontal or vertical fashion, right? We're able to branch our pathways and have various outcomes with our material. And that's level 3. And then your feedback is based on scenarios regarding your pathways. So you can have questions developed for your your students, your clients, your employees, what have you, and they may not have the same ending than person A may not have the same ending as person B, or they may not be asked the same type of questions because of those branching pathways or feedback outcomes that they could have within the interaction. So level 3, complex interactivity, complex and customized learning. So remember that a company that we had, GST, here is a scenario that we built for them, right? So we said, hey, great, you have people that need to be trained on rigging. You're going to throw them up into 100 or 200 foot, 150 foot type of skyrise. And you're going to see here a real life, real world scenario. Let's go record them doing their job so that the people that may want to be trained underneath you, or that they're going to pay to be trained underneath you, can see what they're getting into. And you can show this as an example. And so they're like, all right, cool. So what we did was we went with them, had a camera, really high up. Performer is going to perform. And as you'll see here in a minute, they were able to then produce this as an e-learning module. So you see down here, here's that performer getting ready. And, it's not just a real world, but we're turning this into a simulation, right? So that the person that may be scared to do these sorts of things knows it right off the bat. Other thing in the military I'll tell you about, I was an explosive ordnance disposal for, I went to the school for that. And, I didn't have a virtual, I guess you could say, environment to say, hey, you might be scared holding C4. So I just got thrown out into a field and they threw C4 in my hands and my hands were shaking like that. And they were like, hey, Nava, you're shaking a lot. I was like, oh, I am, and they were like, yeah. They're like, are you nervous? I'm like, no, I'm good. They're like, but your physiology is not insane. I was like, nah, man, I'm okay, right? And anyway, so went and did that, But if with this, as you can see here on the screen, if I was to see like, hey, how should this scenario pan out, and maybe know kind of like in a virtual sense how that could happen, I may have been more prepared for that. This is what level 3 is preparing you for, going into level 4. So as you see here, we have that real world scenario, we have that simulation, we have questions that the learner can move through. I mean, look at that, right? That's open. Performers out there, she's just on that piece of cloth. Our rigger here is tied up to the tie points, and somebody can get a feel for what they're going to do in real life once they graduate from this training. So that's really cool, and we're able to do that for them. Presentation begins to resemble real world. Again, this is a longer development time. We had to go record this, right? We had to go create this simulation. We had to figure out how we were going to present the feedback questions, how the learner was learner was going to be able to go through this scenario. So as you can see here, we did that for them. You may have a higher price also for this. So for level 1 or level 2, let's say we had a 1-month time limit for level 1, level 2, and level 3, right? You as potentially in, well, this is say you were my clients, right? You said, I have this level 1, can you do it within a month for me? And I say, okay, great. It's about 10 pages worth of a manual, a tech book. I could probably do that in a month, right? Get a level 1 out to you. Ah, cool. I could probably do that for a level 2. For level 3, if we want me to do that in a month, I'm going to probably may need to go hire some extra help, or it's going to really take a lot of my concentration to do that for you. So it's going to be a little bit higher of a price for that, because I have to bring some extra resources for that, right? And really, that's what a level 3 is saying, is that it could be a longer development time if money, again, money, talking about business, and if you're going to go search for that outside for your businesses, letting you know, hey, I have a level 3. You're going to talk to an e-learning company or developer about that. It's going to be, one, longer development time, lower price, shorter development time, higher price, right? We get that? Cool. So letting you know that those things start to happen, and people do not really understand that when you're talking to them about the levels of e-learning and what they're looking for regarding final product. And so that's good to know now, because you can go out there and say, hey, I want a level 3. I only have 2 months to get it done, but can you do that for me? And you'll be able to have, and I guess you can say your requirements is really where I'm going with that, right? Is your requirements for your developers to say, hey, can you do this within that specific period of time for me? So again, I showed you on screen GST scenario. Any questions about level 3? No, cool. So as you can see here, we're going to be getting into immersive environments, level 4. So on the table there, I have the Oculus Quest 2. There's the Oculus Quest 3 is coming out, I believe, next month. If you're into VR, I don't know if you're into it. Have you done it? Tried it yet? I don't know if you tried it. You tried it. Kind of dizzy sometimes, right? It can be, but some people do not get dizzy at all. So it just depends on the person. For me, I'm kind of like halfway. I can do about 30 minutes to 45 minutes of being in a virtual environment, and then I'm like, I got to take it off. Some people can go hours, some people just 10 minutes. So as you see here, this is a product that we've created, an example, and there's going to be a more updated version of this that I'll send you to, that will have some aspects to it that you can see. But it has all the components of level 1 and 3. You can have characters and avatars included in it if you wanted. Scenarios have gamification within them. Do you know the difference between gamification and games? Do you know the difference between gamification and games? Do you know the difference between gamification and games? So games are what you play. Like I was talking about Battleship, Hangman, Jeopardy, those are games. What you receive from the game is gamification elements. Your badging, your awards, your certificates, your icons that you may win. If you play like real life games, whether it's a PlayStation or Xbox, they'll have gamification elements for each level that you pass or complete. Though that's what is called gamification. So now that you know that those terms, right? If you want to include games or gamification, level 4 too definitely has that. You can include those in level 3, but again, it's going to prolong your development time. For level 4, we definitely are going to have that stuff here, right? And again, as you could see in the example behind me, escape rooms and games are included. That's what I was talking about. Wanted to say the difference between gamification and games. As you saw on screen there, that was more of an escape room. Have you done escape rooms in real life? No? They have some downtown, I think, like across the train tracks, I think somewhere. They have some escape rooms all around town, like on 410. They have some on 1604. You can find them, I think, in like 1604 and 281. If you go towards Redland, there's an escape room there, 410 and 281 to 410, and I-10, and there's one like by the Jason's Deli over there. I think that's by Desavale. Yeah, yeah. So they have escape rooms all over town. You can go check out, and I would say go try it out. And for those of you online, go check those out. We can do escape rooms online, and that's really what you were seeing here. Is we first started with a 360-degree image that was an escape room. You had to go find elements in that room to get out of it, to get to your content. And this is what the immersiveness is about. Yes, you can do first person role playing games, yes, that too. But yeah, you're able to do those things. So first person, but now you can virtually like go all around. Like, yeah, I would say that's definitely being able to create that for your business. So being able to do those things, not just some high class Nintendo, PlayStation, or Xbox game, but doing it so that your customers, your clients, employees can do a learning experience from it. We're able to do that now too. Pretty cool, right? And that's why really what I'm, be concentrating on here the next 5 or 10 minutes. Your choices may impact the content. So your learners may, regarding employees or customers, clients, what have you, may not interact with anything. They may not interact with this board here. They may not interact with that graphic over there. May not interact with a window or a poster. And that's up to them. They may not get that content at all. But say they go and I have a virtual engine that I want my technicians to learn about, and my manuals, right, level 1, level 2 PowerPoints says, hey, there's 4 bolts. You need to go tie down these 4 bolts. But in my immersive experience, they only tie down 3 bolts, and that 4th one doesn't get tied down. They press continue, that engine falls out when the car goes on. That's better than doing it in real life. So this is why we're talking about being cost effective, being up to date, being able to upskill, being able to do these things in the immersive environment. Really is that those high risk, and when we get here, high profile type cases, which is in my next, I guess you could say, bullet point here, being able to do those things. So level 4, most sophisticated learning experience. Your exit strategy is based on those choices. I already talked about that. Practice real-time decision-making skills, extensive development time. If we still have that 1 month, like, hey, I want this done this month, it's going to be a really high price than your level 3 or your level 2 if you regarding like your material. So we can get it done. Companies can get it done depending on the requirements too. Totally, I've said like you may not be able to do that in a month. You may need 4 months for that of what you're asking us to do. And any good e-learning company or developer should be able to say that and be like, hey, this is reasonable within a 1 month time period, and working with you regarding, remember, action mapping, remember those learner outcomes. We definitely want to pertain our content to that learner. We want an immersive type of environment for our learner. But say we have a lot of requirements and it's going to take a ton of development, we would do some consulting before we make those decisions on, hey, could be done in a month, or it may take longer. Extensive development time. So here's some examples. I thought I had clicked on that for you, but there you go. We're going to go ahead and check out an interaction that we have for a company here in San Antonio that we built out. And I don't know if this is going to play audio, but if you live or know anybody up in the Stone Oak area, 281 north of 1604, this is Iron Fit San Antonio. They're a local gym. Again, if you're into, personal type gyms, it's not necessarily CrossFit, not necessarily all heavy weights. It's a good mix, but we did this interaction for them, still building it. They have this 3-day pass here. So if you go to ironfit360.ismsd.com or go to ironfit.com, they have sign-up forms where you can receive the 3-day pass. We included it here. Are being able to partner with them and produce this for them and promote their business. But let's get into the virtual tour. We have about 12 minutes left, so we're good. I'll show you this tour. So welcome to Iron Fit virtual tour sample. Look around. You should be able to do it on your phones. So you can go to ironfit360.ismsd.com and see this sample. So you're able to do that, right? And you'll be able to see this on your own devices, whether it's a phone or your computer desk. And check it out, right? We can go into this business. And one thing about gyms, when we join new gyms, we may feel kind of reserved because it's a new place, right? Or any new place that we get into. And it's like, oh, I don't know if I should go. I'm by myself, or oh, I don't feel like getting into this new place. I just don't know. It's a new environment. And I've seen people like stay on the outside and they're doing this thing, right? They're like, I don't know if I should go in there. And we're like, hey, you want to come check out in here? And they're like, yeah. And so, they start walking towards the front of the building, and you could see that reservedness from the steps. See people park and they're just kind of looking in the gym, like, is there anybody in there? Like, I don't want anybody to see me go in there, right? So we've seen that. Pretty funny. So for this kind of environment, great, we can let people become familiar with it before they attend. They show up in person, and when they actually show up and they say, oh, I've been in here before, but they've been in there virtually. So you're able to do these things, and I can click on and make interactions in here. So here you got a cool video that we show. Hey, here's some workouts that are happening. People are doing this. Is an all ladies class. Eric, there's the gym owner, and we're being able to show that to you, all the different equipment in there. Let's get out of here. I'm going to skip over here to this side of the room, and now I'm showing you, what this side of the room is like. We threw interactive video up there on the TV screen. Pretty cool. Here is an assault bike. I don't know if you've ever seen what an assault bike is, but there's a picture of it. Just trying to get your newcomers familiar with, and hey, check this out on the floor. We got a video of a warm-up happening over here. So really cool type of 360 immersive environment that will work in your browsers and on your virtual devices if you want to use it that way. So cool interaction that we have here. What else? So if you do this QR code or click this link down here, and it should be Protect Data 360 S. The S is for sample. Again, you can do that QR code. It'll take you to it. And this product demo, I'll let you all take that picture, and then I'll pull it up on the screen. Got about 10 minutes, so we're running it out here. But definitely take some time to talk to you about this immersive aspect of it. You'll be taken to this screen here, to this link, and this is all being hosted on the cloud. Again, if you remember seeing I guess you could say, oh yeah, you got it. So in Chrome, if you open it in Chrome, you'll be able to do what Tony just did and move around with it with your phone. So yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, and if I had that on the Quest too. So Tony, if you want to check that on the Quest after we're done, because I know that's some of the stuff that you may be interested in doing with your business too, making that immersive type interactions. We have that on an app in there, so you'll be able to put it on and you can move around in it, and it's like you're in that room, right? Yes. Yeah, like AR, yeah, and then if it's projected out, like MR or XR, experiential reality, mixed reality, augmented reality, yes, yeah, you're seeing it. You're still in the world here, but it is on your phone and you're moving around with it. So exactly, yeah. So people it all is mixed reality, AR, VR, MR, XR, all of those things put together. But as you see here, that's what we're showing you on this video, and then for you online, seeing this virtually, being able to get through this if you're not able to on your phone immediately. But I can now, I believe, take control of this environment. If I had my goggles on, I would be moving around with the my two handheld devices and with the goggles on. But I can, one, like Tony was doing with his phone, move it around, or two, with my mouse or my finger, move it around also. So we can go and click on various interactions. We have this showing up here. And real quick, this is an AI generated environment. I didn't have this. They're really cool. So being able to do those things is we can take those AI generated environments and turn them into interactive and immersive environments that people can click on. It's not just a 360 picture generated by an AI. It is a 360 AI environment that has interactions tied to it. So this was a 360 picture that just had this screen up here with our two operators. And then what we did with graphics is, had a graphics team come in and we were saying, hey, replace this screen with this interactive module and ask some question. And we wanted like question and answers. So they went and did that. This Teams link, we could click on this and it would take you to a Teams link. We have music being played in here. So if you had your volume on, you would have some music being played. We need to, you could subscribe to the email there. Think about these things for your business. You could have a website and we could say, hey, what's something that you would want to do? It's a virtual museum. So we would go create a virtual museum for you here, and we could have all your content and just make sure we get a environment that you like, and then we can have all these interactions popped up for you. That'd be really cool. Here's my website, but my website is a 360 virtual museum that I created from AI. That'd be really cool. And like I know, Tony, you have your NFT type stuff that you want to do. So we could have a interactive immersive environment where people can click on your different NFTs that they want to buy that you've created and done with. So that's really, we're talking about e-learning and your 4 levels of e-learning, talking about that interaction and what our employees, customers, clients, whatever you have, you are learners in general. What we want them to get out of it is, this is really the deeper level right here. But this really does mean that we can, on the cool factor, it's super cool, but being able to do those things. So for this module, we want to protect our data. So we have to go find a password. And well, first, XAPI, we're going to talk about XAPI the last 5-6 minutes here, data analytics. And this is showing you that, we can click no or yes. So you'll be able to do that from the link that you downloaded from that QR code. But just letting you know that this is an interaction in there. And what we're doing here is we're collecting whether people chose to yes or no interact with this environment. I'll tell you here in a minute. Yeah, we'll get there. So I'm going to click no because I want to enter the module, and we have to go find the password, but I know what the password is. I'm not going to tell you what it is because you need to go find it. But hey, here, now we get into our lower level e-learning environment interactions, whether it's a level 3 or a level 2. And, we can have some PDFs, level 1 in there, and we're going to start telling people how to protect their data. We have some videos in there to be played and what have you. So pretty cool. I'll go ahead and pause that and let's move on, because I think I may have skipped it, but oh well, at least we were able to show you. So level 5, I know I talked about 4 levels, but what's the 5th level? 5th level, level 4 on steroids, that immersive haptics. And haptics meaning all the components of level 1 through 4, your devices need to be worn on your body. 1, like that Quest or your VR headsets. 2, touch points on the body, right? We have these gloves out here that we can type with now. I don't know if you heard about those, but you can wear gloves instead of an actual keyboard, and it'd be like boom, 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 boom. I'm touching. So you're able to do those things. Minority Report, I don't know if you know, it's becoming real life. Tom Cruise, that movie. Your touch points on your body can give real-time data. 360 environments, of course, multiple scenes, but of course you have to have multiple backend apps to support your packages. Really cool stuff. Talking about my military experience again, CQB is called Close Quarter Battle. So before we go overseas, back in 2007, I had to go be trained in close quarter battles in case I needed to go into a building and clear out buildings. Adversaries could be in there, real life. And we were training in middle of Wyoming in these buildings. And, one of the training scenarios, I turned the corner and I got shot in the neck with a sim round. So I had my helmet, I had my chin guard here, my goggles on, I had my breastplate here on. The little area of my neck that was open, this train symbol, it found its way into about this much room, and I have this scar on my neck. Um, Nowadays in the military, they're wearing these suits and they're going into these rooms and they're playing with these virtual guns, and they're able to do those things before moving into a physical type of live training round. So being able to do those things. So if I was, again, not saying that if I was more prepared or not, I turned the corner and boom, got shot in the neck with a sim round, got scarred to prove it. But being able to do those things, immersive haptics, wearing those full body suits, is really where we think as a company the next level is going. You're not going to find that out there, but it is happening, not being stated as level 5. So ending out here our presentation, I know we're probably upon the hour right now, but capturing data, Experience API, Google Analytics, and et cetera, on how to do these things. We're familiar with learning management systems. Learning management systems, those of you online, learning management systems. Learning management systems, did you go to college? Where'd you go to college at? And then you took like Blackboard or Canvas was your Blackboard, that's your learning management system. Learning management system. So e-learning that way, you were being tracked. You had to go take a quiz online, whether it was weekly, monthly, maybe your final test to get out of your college experience was that. I had to go do that about 10 years ago. That is being recorded by what's called an LMS, learning management system, and what is called SCORM. SCORM is an acronym. I would be able to tell you off the top of my head, but literally I just forgot it a second ago. But really, an LMS is complete, incomplete, pass, or fail. That's the only really reporting that you can do, level 1 and 2. You remember that? This is where those learning levels are going to be starting being applied to at your analytical capabilities. So Talent LMS, iSpring, Doshibo, Blackboard, Canvas, Moodle. We can go and create an actual your own LMS if you want to. One, it can be bought or paid for, or you can have one that is hosted on your own server, such as Moodle provides that for you. So we could do LMSs for you, but that's more of a traditional type sense. And what we're talking about here, though, is XAPI, Experience API. And as you can see there, it's all good. Yeah, it does that to me too, right? I say at home when I was practicing, it like popped up for me too. Experience API, XAPI has been around for about 10 or 12 years. I'm in a cohort right now. Every spring and fall, globally, it happens. The Learning Guild is what hosts it. It used to be Torrance Learning. Again, Megan Torrance, one of my mentors that how I got to where I'm at, learning from her, being able to do that type of aspect. Jeff Batt, again, received what is called the XAPI Accelerator course. That's going to be happening next month at DevLearn 2. So, not in no way connected to them, but I was in the initial class to learn the XAPI Accelerator course from Jeff Batt, and you can find him on YouTube, right? Jeff, Jeff Batt, Batt. One of my mentors also being certified in XAPI, being able to analytically take not just complete, incomplete, pass, or failed, but have these various ways to capture data. It transcends SCORM. As you can see here, I can see weekly traffic. I can look at actor behavior. I can see what my highest scoring objects are, what my lowest scoring objects are. I can see when you started a PDF and when you completed it. I can see that, that you may start it, but you didn't finish it. And why is that? So from a business decision, why do those things happen? And XAPI, again, it transcends SCORM because you're able to do more data tracking and data analysis on your content, on your modules, on your material, whether it's your level 1 or all the way to your level 4s. Did they click on this object? Did they interact with this object? Did they experience this object? Did they finish this? Did they quit it? Did they fail? Fail it is another one. But you're able to track more than just complete, incomplete, pass, or fail. And that's what Experience API is all about, is having a list of verbs that you tie to objects and that your actors, your learners, are interacting with. Does that make sense? Hopefully, I know it's a little bit, when I first heard about it, I was like, how does this work? But I'm going to be having more talks on a lot of what you heard about today, and I'm going to go into this more, and you can find this online too, if you so happen. So that PDF that you did at level 1, if you clicked on it, I can afterwards show you, because I know we're up on the hour, but definitely that these two elements within this presentation, I'm telling you, had XAPI tied to them. And on my end, I'll be able to show you how those interactions popped up. And here's Google Analytics. So for that immersive environment, I'm able to tie Google Analytics to that immersive environment. And this is just 2 days ago, I believe. So for the last 28 days, I've had 13 new users. My event count is up 248%, 15. Again, there's those 13 new users from the last 28 days. So great, I have people interacting with that environment that is online. So really cool stuff. I can go and get these analytics, and I can see what's working, what's not working, what I need to improve on for my business, and I can turn that into my e-learning packages or modules. I do not need an LMS to track XAPI. I can have my website and interactions on my website track that for me, and I get my data, what is called a learning record store. And I can see that in that learning record store and not have to have it full-blown LMS. Really cool stuff that's out there. Talking more about this in a future presentation. It is online out there. Learning Guild does have their XAPI Accelerator program happening in October at the end of the month. So final questions that you need to ask yourself: who's the audience? What are their needs? Employees, customers. Your high profile and high risk projects, those that are going to cost the most money and take the longest time, turn those into e-learning before an actual learner or customer has to interact with it in the real world, before they break something or hurt themselves too, or what have you. Complexity of it, interactions, think about your low, medium, or high complexity, and then your development process, which frameworks to use. So being as an agile program manager in e-learning, we do use waterfall type methods, agile, and rapid prototyping. Waterfall, being more linear, and agile with your Kanban and your Jira, being able to iterate constantly until you get to a final product, or your rapid prototyping, say, hey, I need this tomorrow, go build it for me. And we'll build it for you like in a day, but it's totally not going to be perfect. But the idea is that you have it built and you can just iterate from there. Rapid prototyping. So being able, and we'll have a talk on that in the future also. So workshop lineup, hopefully in the future, have more of these, and especially for online, being able to record these for you. Roles and responsibilities in e-learning, e-learning design process, e-learning development process, the tech in e-learning. I talked about all of these elements today, but really going deep into what those things are. Data gathering methods in e-learning, did talk about that today too. Your e-learning for project managers, you can be a Lean Six Sigma, CISSP, PMP, a safe agile framework, right? You can have all these certifications and say, hey, I'm gonna go do an e-learning project, but more than likely you can be successful, but you will have a higher success rate if you know the e-learning side of it. And that's what the Learning Guild certifications that we have under our belts do too. And e-learning for 360 environments is something that we'll be able to do also. So here's our contact information. Again, I didn't say, I think off the bat, in this with my wife, right? We have a company that we built together. This is part of that company, ISM System Designs. Agu Pros is our LLC. ISM System Designs is underneath it, a woman-owned business. Adriana is the CEO. I'm a technology director, officer, right? Our phone number, our business, you can do that QR code. This business card will pop up for you. We are also building our Web3 presence. So if you know about Web3, we're going to be doing that also in the future. Have something basically set up there. ISM Systems Designs.crypto. So that'll be happening next few months, year or so. But being able to do these things, X, Twitter, at ISMSD, let me see, at underscore ISMSD, and then LinkedIn. You can find us on LinkedIn, ISM System Designs. And if you want to take our survey, there's a survey that we have there. I know QR codes like crazy. I know we're about 5 or 10 minutes over, but definitely wanted to show you those interactions and that you really got interested in there. So pretty cool stuff. And do you have any questions for me?